All right, welcome everybody to the show. How's everybody doing out there this Friday? Hope everybody's doing great. And it looks like we're good to go. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it, shall we? Always a lot of fun to speak with my new subs and regular subs. So welcome back and welcome to the show. Welcome to everyone to another exciting show, especially my new subscribers. I have to say that because we just reached 270, so we're climbing faster and faster. For anyone new here, if you're too shy to drop a comment, let me go ahead and show you right here. Here we go. If you're too shy to drop a comment, direct message me privately. That's right. Anonymously, privately. Just create a simple Discord account. I have a Discord server. For those of you who are shy, make sure you don't post on the main page right here when you enter. Learn how to direct message me. It's not that difficult. You can learn it in about 1 minute of a Google search. Not bad at all. So the link will be down below for this particular presentation, this show, because it's rare that I actually announce it. Usually I say go to my main channel page and click on the or tap on the more links, but they got rid of the about page. So I have to bring that up. Okay, let's go ahead and proceed, shall we? All right, let's see here. Here we go. All right, so today's topic is all about people trying to control your life. That's right, really intense. Whether it's family, friends, strangers, or even your own culture or religion. It could be anything. Unfortunately, the only person that has the final say, however, in everything you choose to do is you. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your life. It's your life. Do as you desire. However, I am here to provide you with knowledge, wisdom, and intelligence advice that you hopefully will take into consideration. You'll never get what you want from life as long as you follow people with negative mindsets, negative emotions, unproductive, destructive, ignorant, mentally and emotionally out of control people. There are far too many these days. Be very careful who you listen to. Many people want to control your life. Be very careful when such unstable, dangerous people give you advice on what to do next in your life. Or when these control freaks tell you who they think you are and tell you what you can do and can't do. Only listen to people who give you positive, constructive, useful, considerate, wise, intelligent, heartfelt, and mindful advice. But at the same time, you gotta look, ultimately, the one to make your own decisions is you. That's what I want you to take away from this. And I have to say this, we have to go back to the basics because it's really sad when I hear that people make very important life decisions and they go the wrong way. Just because somebody else told them, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't trust that girl. You know, I mean, you don't know. Look, there's a lot of jealousy out there. Maybe perhaps you're doing good in a really good friendship and you want to take it to the next level. Begin on a relationship with her. And then somebody comes up and says maybe lies or rumors that aren't true about that person because they don't want to see you succeed with her. And then they want a shot with her. Or they just don't want you to succeed at all. So be very careful. It's kind of like an et tu brute. There can be anybody around you. I'm not saying don't trust anyone. We'll get into that. Because trust is the whole different stream. So you can see right here, peer pressure, dealing with peer pressure. Ever since we were little kids with bullies and just people with bad intentions. That's what I'm starting this out with. Trying to control and manipulate your life. That's what control is. Trying to manipulate the decisions that you make or don't make. And I'll tell you what, my own sister didn't want me to deploy to Afghanistan. She didn't because, I was just paying off my debts, my college debt, my car, and I thought it was a good idea to go as a contractor and to continue serving my country. So it was very dangerous, okay? I mean, grenades, rockets, you name it. I mean, it's just as dangerous as for a contractor in some cases. Anyways, more about that in my mini documentary, A Soldier's Life. So go check it out. Let's go ahead and move on, shall we? All right, what do we have here? Okay. So, worrying about what other people think about you and what you decide to do with your life. Of course, you're responsible for every decision you make in your own life. I have to keep emphasizing that. But don't be afraid to ask for help whenever you need it. Don't be a macho man and think that nobody can teach you anything and that you can't trust anyone, as I was saying before, because I've learned a lot of things from many different people, while also realizing and developing an infinite level of wisdom. I say infinite because it's ever continuing, and you should feel just as optimistic. It's that important. It's okay to please as many people as you can. In some or most cases, it depends. But also those that you believe deserve your hard work, care, and attention. For instance, I immediately block anyone online or offline that is immature, ungrateful, or disrespectful. They're everywhere. Our world is infested with negative crabs in a bucket who want to bring you down. They don't want you to succeed. Once you learn how to please yourself first, then you can learn how to please those that you feel deserve your love or help. So you can't help others if you can't help yourself. If you have to say no to something, say no. But sometimes there may be unwanted consequences when you say no. It could be an opportunity in disguise. Just remember that, even hard times. So for example, if your partner needs your help and they always help you, you should not say no unless you're left with no other choice due to other commitments. But you should always try to place your partner's needs first. So let's go over this little diagram. I did not create this. The creator's on the top right, website link. What will they think? What if I say no? Will we still be friends? Look, all this worrying. Worrying is like a rocking chair. It keeps you busy but doesn't get you anywhere. I see worry all around me. It's a form of anxiety. Keeps you jittery. Doesn't solve anything. But that's a whole different stream altogether. So let's go ahead and proceed, because this is all about people trying to control your life, which we want to prevent. And who knows, you're probably already in such a situation. Got to be very careful the next steps you choose to take. I mean, sometimes it's a minefield. If you truly have a loving family, which is very fortunate, and very caring friends, which is even more rare, and colleagues who give you advice and are really there for you whenever you need them, take full advantage of those opportunities to better your future and your health. Always be surrounded by positive, motivating, good examples of what a human being should be people. For instance, I know some mighty stubborn men out there who are an absolute train wreck, drowning in alcohol or worse substance abuse. All because they refuse to listen to their loving parents, friends, or a coach, such as myself, trying to help them out. Sometimes you just can't get through to people. These men are what I call the silent sufferers, because they all have the opportunities to better their life, but they insist on digging themselves the deepest hole and thus literally ruining their potential to reach success. I've seen this. It's an attitude problem. It's the wrong version of pride. It's foolish pride. When you have the assets and the resources, the people there to help you along the way, and you don't take advantage of those opportunities, it's not using people to reach success. It's communicating with people who can get you there. It's not necessarily what you know in this world. It's also who you know and how you interact with them. We all need to help each other. What do the ants do? The ants all work together, and they carry really heavy objects to their little nests in the ground. If you go ahead and look it up, they can carry I don't know how many times more their weight. So if you add it up, it starts to add up, doesn't it, as a team? Anyways, not only success though. their happiness also goes out the window, the people who refuse help, which is why I always run into the random self-defeatist who refuses to listen to important advice that will change their lives forever in the best way. So this stream is all about reminding you that you have control over your own destiny based on the choices you make. But if you shut out certain people who mean well, you will only greatly jeopardize your future happiness. Don't go at this life all alone, because that's losing control. So no, we're no longer talking about other people trying to control your life. We're also talking about you being your own worst enemy. Think about it. If you have a negative mindset and you doubt yourself at every step of the way, you're never going to accomplish your goals. And if you're too weak, if you're too silent, if you don't have the good version of pride, if you don't have that energy and that zest, that passion, you're never going to achieve your goals. I don't care which goal it is. And especially in the relationship department, in the realm of love. You know, it's weakness is never favored. It's always the strong versus the weak in this life. Very harsh reality, but it's easy to be strong once you believe in yourself and what your capabilities truly are once you know thyself. But you have to get to know yourself by working with others, because they can teach you a lot about yourself through that interaction. All right, let's go ahead and proceed here. All right, so there's no such thing as a stupid question. The only stupid question is the one you don't ask, because you're too afraid of what people will say. Silence is weakness. Don't be afraid about how people will react to you. So the stupid move is not asking your questions. When you had the opportunity to do so, you probably told yourself, whatever. I'm not going to learn anything from here. You're only jeopardizing your max potential. It doesn't matter who it comes from. Even a little kid can teach you something that you might want to listen to. It could be a reminder of something that you forgot, the basics. Go back to the basics. You'd be surprised how many people fail to achieve their goals in life, especially in the relationship department, because they just push everybody out, or most people out, or half people out. You got to work with somebody, okay? I'm not saying that you need a life coach such as me by your side, but let me tell you something. It is a turbo boost in this life. So I wish I had that opportunity, but it just wasn't around. All right, let's go ahead and move on here. In this often crazy melting pot we call life, you will always find bad apples who point the finger at you. Some of them mean well, but most people, especially today, and especially online, don't mean well and only seek to bring you down. As I said, crabs in a bucket. Be very careful. And they're also covert narcissists. They pretend to be your friend, but they're really not. They'll say, oh, you're so great. They'll write beautiful comments about you, and then they'll backstab you the first chance they get. Online, it's a circus, as I said in one of my interviews on a podcast interview. So be very careful in today's circus. I'm not saying don't trust anybody, but most of them you just can't trust. So, the most important thing in a relationship is trust, of course. Okay, so I'm here to tell you right now, right here, that I'm in your corner. You may not know me in person. You may be completely new to my advice. But if there's anything you can fully trust, it's the advice that you feel will help you in your life offline. Okay? You don't have to know me, but put my advice to the test. Then you can start to get to know my philosophy on life and love. That's precisely why I passionately invested 800 hours of my life writing the best self-help book about relationships ever written in the history of mankind. You got that right. You heard that right. I didn't stutter, utter, or mutter. It's also why I also invested 75 hours creating a life-changing 1-hour course. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. It's very powerful. 1 hour of your time, change your life forever. Because when you change your mindset, you begin to lay the foundation of a successful future. So since I'm successful, I'm sharing the keys to success with you. Take it or leave it. It's my hope that you take it, but remember, I'm not here to control your life. I'm here to suggest the shortcuts to success. And that way you don't have to struggle And if anybody didn't tell you these shortcuts, I'm here to tell you them. All right. There's no master key, however, but in this situation, yes. This one applies to everybody. My book and course. All right. So, I'm all about helping you when everyone else seems to not care. When they should care, such as family and friends or colleagues, yada yada. Or when everyone else is too busy with their own problems and you don't feel like asking them for help because you fear being a burden. There's so many people that just suffer in silence. They think that they're unimportant, nothing special, and that's not true. And even science does this to people. They say, you're not even a speck in the multiverse and universe, and stop it. Don't follow that. That's such a negative attitude. And that's not reality. In life, you are bigger than what you think. You can become bigger than what you think in many ways. You don't have to be the strongest, the fastest, the smartest. You just have to be you, but the best version of you. And that's what I'm here to help you with. Your personality, your own uniqueness, it's important. So if you think that you're not important in this life, you got it wrong. Okay, you were born for a reason. Everybody has their own version of their own destiny. My life is not going to be the same as your life, but we can both be successful. With passion, with happiness, that we can share in common. And that's not as difficult as it sounds unless you make it difficult. So listen to the winners, like myself, and you'll be a winner too. I've listened to winners all my life. How do you think I got to this point? They didn't give me a step-by-step guide, but they told me which direction generally to go. So I had good influences. I never did drugs. I never smoked. I drank some alcohol to try it out, but I never liked it. I don't like beer. I don't like high intakes of sugar or sodium. So I've always watched what I eat. I read all the carcinogenic chemicals on labels. I mean, I've been taught by good intentions, people with good intentions, how to avoid pitfalls in my future. And I have a head full of hair, super long hair, to prove it, that my health is in great standing. Physical fitness, mental fitness, emotional fitness. So you should have the same thing. But if you don't, or if you made a few mistakes, it's never too late to correct them unless you're in a really bad situation. But even then, you'll have to just minimize the effects as best you can. All right, so let's go ahead and move on, shall we? But if you feel that the whole world is pointing the finger at you, just relax. Take a few deep breaths. The world is not over. If you can still stand on your 2 feet, or even the handicapped, if they can still sit at attention and still have a passion for life, what an inspiration, to say the least. So, if you can get up and stand up for yourself with your own voice, with your own energy, and you know yourself, you know exactly what you want in life, everything's possible. The only one that is your greatest enemy is yourself. So I'm here to tell you, stop listening to negative people who want to try to control your life. That's what this is all about. It could be those even closest to you. And if you have to start all over again by dumping that person next to you who calls themselves your partner when they're so toxic, they bring you down every single day, that's not a loving partner. And you need to break up or divorce, whatever the case may be. She does not love you, if that's the case. Now, you should always give your partner a chance to change. But if they refuse to change, guess what? Ultimately, it's time to say bye-bye. Okay, so let's move on. No matter what your situation is, one thing that will always remain true, here's the good news, is the fact that things can always be worse. So never forget how fortunate you are and the opportunities that remain hidden. You may not see them. It's waiting for you to discover them. Let me explain. For instance, when talking about people trying to control every aspect of your life, simply have a look at cultures where they basically force people to get married with people they don't even love. It's called arranged marriages. It's really, it really is a shame to hear so many American men complaining about their failed marriages or failed relationships when they at least have, they've always had the right to marry whoever they chose to be their wife. So there's no excuse. You're in control of your life. You choose who you want to fall into a relationship with and eventually fall in love with. You have all the freedom, but these people don't. So it can always be worse, man. I'm here to tell you. It's not the end of the world. And if you fail, get back up. It doesn't matter if you're paying child support times 3 or 5. That's your responsibility. Those are your failures. But you ultimately fail because those are failed relationships. But you ultimately fail yourself if you don't move on. If you run away and you say, you know what, I'm tired of relationships, well, then you've just given up on your future happiness. It takes 2 to be happy. So you have to get it right, one way or another. All right. If your relationship didn't work out, move on, because at least you have the right to. Like I'm pointing out here, some people don't even have the right. And many people, I don't really want to get into this, but they pretty much end their lives via the poisonous route because they're ashamed to divorce and they're not allowed to. There is some really sad stories out there. And I even met somebody personally from India who was about to end his own life, and we convinced him not to because his marriage was failing and he had to ultimately get a divorce. Now he's living happily ever after in California with a new relationship, a new partner. So who knows if he succeeded or not, but he sounded very, very happy and thankful that we helped him out. So, my friends and I, we helped him out. He was a really good person. All right. So, unlike the slaves forever trapped in arranged marriages that they never asked for, imagine that, but were nonetheless forced or heavily coerced to do so. Can you just stop and imagine that? And in America, how could people possibly complain about their failed relationships when they had the right? They were always in control to begin with. So if you feel like you were never in control to begin with, that you were being coerced, heavily influenced, peer pressure by your friends, family, or anybody, or even your culture, then it's still ultimately your choice, right? But you allowed them to control you. That's what this is all about. Fool me once, don't fool me twice or thrice. It's never too late, but learn from your mistakes and defend yourself from these snakes in the grass. You don't know that they're snakes until they jump out and they try to bite you or they bite you. So now the venom is injected with what they say to you. They want to bring you down. They want to influence you in a bad way to make the wrong decisions. It could be even professional decisions. No, don't take that job, right? Or yeah, take that job. And then you're going to end up miserable in that job, or you're going to miss an opportunity depending on the scenario. All because of what somebody told you with bad intentions that you weren't aware of at the time. Now, the train has passed. You missed it forever. And hopefully you'll find a better one or something decent along the way to come next. Sure, you may suffer greatly from a failed relationship, whether it was a breakup or divorce, but one thing remains completely open, people, and that's the right to choose who you want to be with next. The right to get it right this time. That's my point, and I had to really drive it home. So in closing, be yourself, make your own decisions, but never be afraid to trust those who deserve it. And always take intelligent advice whenever you can. Confidence over fear, happiness over misery. Go for it.